As I began my final push south, I couldn't believe that I had actually made it all the way from Alaska to Argentina. And though technically I could have stopped the moment I crossed the border, in my heart I just had to push on an additional 2,000 miles to the very tip of South America, Ushuaia. Of course, I was hoping that the last 1,000 miles were going to be nothing like the first 1,000. Minus 21 outside. My feet, I can't feel them. I decided to stop and warm myself up. There is snow in the car. I cut my finger. I don't even know how I cut my finger. Okay, so this happened. Fortunately, all of that icy drama was behind me, and now I needed to take a break and find a warm bed. I've made it to Las Grutas. Been driving Kindness 2 for, I'd say, about 10 hours. And this place is extraordinarily beautiful. But I get the sense that it's a summer city because there's no one here. This is stunningly beautiful, but also mind-numbingly freezing and deserted. Habla inglés? No. Habla inglés anyone in this town? No one in this town speaks English. Okay, thank you. Habla inglés anyone? Casino habla inglés? They don't speak English. Let's go and find some people that speak English. Come on. Yes. Yes. Is there any way that maybe I can sleep on your couch?
What is couch? I don't remember that word.
Sofa.
Oh. For me, I have no problem. But my mom.
Call her.
She's the boss.
Ask her.
In the couch.
Yeah.
Because I think we have many apartments.
Oh, you have apartments?
Yes. We have 30.
Really?
See?
Are they empty?
Empty. All empty. In this time, all empty.
Because it's not summer.
Exactly.
We went to find his mum and see if she would say yes to an Englishman sleeping on her couch. And gratefully, she did that and more.
Tienen el suelo del departamento, la calefacción está alta y están las sábanas puestas, así que se pueden quedar.
Can you ask your mum if I can give her a hug?
Le pregunto si ella te puede dar un abrazo.
Sí. Bueno, igual yo siempre ayudo a mucha gente.
He always helps people. He always.
Siempre.
Mucho gracias.
Bueno.
As I settled in, I thought about all of the people along the way that gave me shelter for the night.
If you really need a place to stay, well, you'd be able to stay here.
Wow.
Like Peter and Paul, who let me stay in their beautifully restored home for days until I could sort out a travel emergency. Southwest just saved me. They're going to fly me to Costa Rica. Believe it or not, but I am also a captain.
Of what?
Of a 1971 vintage VW Beetle. Or Christopher, whose house lacked electricity and plumbing, but still managed to make me feel at home.
Lloro porque no hay personas que se atreven a hacer lo que tú haces.
Gracias. Discúlpame. Muchas gracias.
And of course, there were a few times I couldn't find someone to help me at all. And who could forget about the crocodiles? Danger, beware of crocodiles. So I'm going to try and conquer my fear of crocodiles, and I'm going to stay on this beach. Kindness 2, it's you and I. That's it. We're not going to get eaten by any crocodiles. The next morning, I headed out early for another long day of driving. Gas time. Habla inglés. No habla inglés. Thank you. Habla inglés. No. She gave me some apples And she's going to put gas in my car. Another gift of gas made me think about my partner on this adventure, Kindness 2. To be honest, there were many times I just didn't think she had it in her. The car just stopped. I think it's overheated. My windscreen wipers have stopped working, but as you can see, I can't see anything.
Run a piece of string through each window. Run a string through this one, string through that one, you can boss this one and go down the road like that.
Luckily for me, I have AAA, which means it's going to be towed for free. Oh, he went into the store and bought some tools to fix the car. It doesn't look like it's leaking. Just got bitten by an ant. It's really not very safe. I can hardly see anything. But time and again, with a little patience, some perseverance, and a lot of help, she got back out on the road. And sometimes they weren't even really roads. But this road led me to Puerto San Julian, another beachside town on another off-season afternoon. I knew finding a place to stay was going to be a challenge, but first there was something I just had to do. When I was a kid, I had such a rich imagination, and I would always pretend I was a pirate or I was an explorer. And this is a replica of Magellan's ship. He was the first person that circumnavigated the world. The ship itself was done to scale, which allows you to get a sense of what it might have been like to be an explorer 500 years ago. It also made me think about all the explorers that I met during this journey.
It's a beautiful experience to be able to travel the world, but sometimes it's very challenging.
You are a brother on a journey. Everybody's on some kind of journey.
Some travelled for love. And what brings you to Canada?
A woman.
Some travelled for faith.
We were missionaries in Africa, then worked in mission with international people in Oklahoma.
Some travelled to prevent some future regrets.
A lot of old people told us what they really regret, not traveling and not having a family.
And some travelled for the most personal reasons of all. Is your family back in America?
They are in America. I was deported like 5 months ago. I tried to come back, but sometimes it's too expensive.
You know someone that swam for hours in the ocean?
I am one of them. I don't want to quit from my family. What about when my kids won't come and ask me, hey, Dad, why you try never come back?
But regardless the reason or mode of transportation, we were all part of this group that is compelled to walk towards the horizon and keep going. After my time on the Victoria, I needed to concentrate on the business of finding a place to stay for the night. ¿Dónde?
Yes.
Habité a casa su?
En casa de Lionel Messi.
No.
In this moment, I don't live here.
Oh, where do you live?
I live in Cordoba.
Oh.
Argentina, Cordoba.
Oh, I was in Cordoba.
Yes, it's other province in the north
of
my country.
Okay. Cerrado por vacaciones. I think that means we've gone on holiday. It's closed. Is hospitage a hospital or a hostel? Well, it doesn't matter, it's closed. So, you know, next time I travel from Alaska to Argentina, please remind me to arrive in Argentina in the summer, and also preferably to leave Alaska in the summer as well.
Hotel. Ahí donde está el nombre.
Okay.
Ahí.
Okay, gracias. Oh my God, it's closed as well. What? Go around the back. Un momento. There's someone in there. Once again, I got lucky. And though luck played a huge part in this adventure, it's done. It wasn't always easy.
There's some problems at the south of Colombia.
What's the percentage of chance that I get kidnapped?
We can say 60% safe and 40% not safe.
So there's a 40% chance I'll be kidnapped.
Could be.
And there were definitely times I wanted to give up. This is supposed to be some of the most dangerous territory that I'm about to go through?
Everywhere, every country is dangerous. Well, it depends on what kind of car you got.
So if I have like a really nice
You'll
yellow
probably get
Beetle,
robbed for it.
There's some good people everywhere and some bad people everywhere, I guess.
He showed me where he lives, but I can't remember. Kaido! But through it all, as in life itself, I just tried to keep a sense of humour about it. Because really, what else can one do? But just out of curiosity, why do people do this? The guy that looks like God told me to come and meet you.
Why?
He didn't tell me that. Which team do you support?
I love Manchester City.
Manchester City?
Yeah, and Chelsea.
Oh, sorry.
Them white ones are pretty tough.
You're ruining my reputation.
You speak English?
Very little.
Where did you learn to speak English?
Yes.
¿Cuánto tiempo
Caminando.
per papitoto a la Mitsubishi? So you watched many movies and learned how to speak English?
Yes, yes.
What about Rambo?
Yeah.
Like Rambo?
Yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
No.
Sylvester Stallone.
Oh.
Adrian!
Yo.
Adrian! That's Rocky. But...
Yeah.
I'm stuck in the snow. I'm not joking. I'm stuck. And before I knew it, it was morning. But it wasn't just any morning. It was the last morning. The morning I had been waiting for since the journey began. But now that it was here, it felt surreal. And it made me think about so much that had led me to this moment. My journey of kindness started way before Alaska. For many years I felt profoundly alone. And when I travel the world, I realize that there is so much goodness out there. There is so much beauty out there. And I hope, along this journey of mine, that you felt just that little bit less alone. Because that's what kindness does. It gives us hope. And there were many kind people along the way that gave me hope throughout my adventure. I just saw you giving homeless people free clothes.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
You do that all the time?
Yeah, thank you. I feel good, you know. They don't take it in trash. I give something they can use.
It's $9.54.
Oh wow, that's so sweet. The only
There's $13 and I don't know how much pennies.
That's so sweet, guys, but I can only accept kindness.
Nope. You get money. Kindness.
So you live on a cliff because you do not have enough money, yet you are giving me free tamales. What he is doing is just unbelievable. The poverty that I see is mind-blowing. Yet the kids, they love him. The people, they love him. I don't know what the father has been saying, but I know that he speaks the language of the heart.
Hay niños muriendo de hambre. Y si no les damos hoy comida, mañana va a ser tarde.
Along with the adventures of the heart came all different types of adventure too. Ah! Okay, no, don't gallop. Don't gallop. Slow! Slow!
There you go, that's better.
I truly loved every minute of it. Even when I thought I hated it. Never want to do this again. With this epic adventure now coming to a close, I saw the first real sign that the end was fast approaching.
It's got a lot chillier, as you can see, but Kindness 2 and I are 131 kilometers away from Ushuaia.
Suddenly, I found myself hesitating. As much as I wanted the journey to end, I also didn't want it to be over. So I pulled over when I found the perfect spot to pause and take a breath.
I feel like I've literally driven into a movie.
This trip had been filled with so many wonderful views of this beautiful planet of ours. From snow-capped mountains to golden dunes, from oceans to lakes and rivers, from seaside cities to verdant jungle canopies, I couldn't have asked for a more wonderful setting. However, not everything I saw on this journey was beautiful. There were also reminders of the darkness that exists within us.
Here we are comfortable, but the slaves is like they get closer to each
So
other.
like hundreds of people in this room.
Yes.
So 400 years ago,
400 years ago,
there were people sleeping in these tunnels, living in these tunnels, dying in these tunnels.
We are from Congo, but we were refugees in Namibia. For 17 years, she was in the camp. I was 12 years in the camp.
You were in a refugee camp, for 12 years?
For 12 years.
Have you experienced any racism?
Yeah, they say, for example, like a donkey, something like that.
They've called you a donkey?
Yeah, it depends the education of the people. Okay, yeah. I don't care about what they say.
But doesn't it hurt?
Yes, it hurts.
Rwanda is one of my favorite countries in the world. It was only 23 years ago that they suffered the most enormous suffering you could possibly ever imagine. And
nearly a million people were killed, right?
By
Genocide,
machetes.
total genocide. What does it feel like to see your culture destroyed?
At times it feels like the inside of you is being ripped apart.
But good or bad, all journeys must come to an end. And now it was time for this one to do so.
We did it. Kindness 2 and I did it. We've arrived in Ushuaia, 25 feet from the world famous Ushuaia Fin del Mundo sign.
It was also time to break out the cigar that Anton had given me all those weeks ago in Peru.
I am going to smoke this cigar when I get to Ushuaia.
Amazing. Take it. Thank you.
So here I was at the end of the world, contemplating what my journey had been all about. Because in truth, it wasn't about me at all. It was about the people I met along the way. They are the reason I started the journey. And for that, I wanted to thank them for making the world better for all of us. People like Rena, who gave every minute of her life and every inch of her home to save abandoned animals.
Nosotros fuimos abandonados por mi madre. Y mi padre, en venganza de eso, de lo que mi madre le hizo, nos quiso regalar. Nos quiso regalar como que si fuéramos unos animalitos.
I want to help save 100 dogs.
Gracias.
Gracias. Que Dios siempre me los bendiga y me los proteja. Gracias.
And John, who opens his home to help society's lost souls find their way back.
And it always costs you something, you know. They'll steal from you, they'll drink on your property, they'll do anything they can to exist. And I tried to change that in their life.
So what I want to do is to send you and your wife to Jerusalem.
Really? That's a passion. Has been all my life to walk in those steps like the God that I serve walked.
And Karen, who has fought since childhood to make the world a better place.
So after getting to know you, today is I want to send you wherever you want to go in the world, where you can help kids to get free water, where you can help kids to do whatever it is that you want to do. The second thing, I will help you to set up your charity.
I also realised that I didn't want the end of my adventure to be the end of the story. So, as my story comes to an end, another story, your story, may be just beginning. And on this journey, I've been inspired by other people's kindness, day in, day out. It's changed me, because truly the greatest gift that we have to give another human being is ourselves. You are the final gift. Because how you show up in the world, it matters. It matters profoundly. We all have the power to change the world. Because to change the world, all you need to do is change one life. And the most beautiful and the most profound way to change one life is simply to be kind. That's it. So my challenge is simple. The final gift of the Kindness Diaries is for you to go out into the world and give of yourself. Be kind. Share your love. And have as much fun along the way as you can.
I never felt wanted by anyone.